Heading out on a nature walk this afternoon. Thought I'd take you with me for a few minutes. Starting to get darker earlier. I'm not used to that yet. I used to come here running all the time when I lived in this area. But that was 13 years ago. I love all the variety of trees here, but especially the weeping ones. Well, it is October, so it shouldn't surprise me that the water level in the pond has gone down quite a bit. Still beautiful though. I see a few geese out there. They're usually all over the place here. Trees. Definitely peaceful here. Which is what I was looking for when I set out on this walk. Look at the red bark on that little tree. I know it looks like a bush at the moment, but it will grow. And it could become a tree if they keep the lower limbs pruned. It's a madrone. Definitely reminds me of my arbutus trees with that bark. My arbutus red bark, though, has a peeling nature, whereas the madrone's is quite smooth. Another madrone, don't think you can see the color of its bark, but deep cinnamon red. And this one, much bigger, so actually looking like a tree. Love all the weeping trees. They take so much water though. You can see they're suffering here even. The pond that feeds into some little creeks near here hasn't been enough for them in this intense summer weather. They'll bounce back though come winter. I'm on another trail now from a different angle. Been walking for a good 20-30 minutes and I see the pond again. Sun is going down over there, as you can see through the trees. Kim here, not at all of City Oasis today though, my property about an hour south of here. I am at a location a little higher up here in Northern California where they have some great hiking trails, little ponds, and I used to come here all the time when I lived up in this area. And you know, I miss it. And it has changed quite a bit, but it's still very enjoyable. Now, speaking of change, well, that's kind of what I'm going to chat with you a little bit about today. Lots of changes going on in October here in the garden and in my life a little bit. So let's get chatting. So I've been super busy this past week trying to get all of my current ripe cherry tomatoes and peppers harvested and thrown in my freezer. Planning to do a huge salsa cooking and canning project probably mid-November. So till then I'm trying to keep what's growing as it ripens harvested so more will have time to grow and ripen. You know, we don't get our first frost here in my area till, well, officially the end of November, but frequently not until mid-December, sometimes even January. So I want to give the plants as much time as possible to grow as much as possible. Pretty funny though, after I finished all of this, then that evening when I went out to water, I found 4 or 5 more plants, pepper plants, and another whole bed with cherry tomatoes that I had completely forgotten to harvest. That's what happens when you do what I do, which is kind of plant things everywhere instead of all in one place. That's been really helpful for me through the years because I think it helps avoid, you know, the type of veggie you're growing from, you know, all going bad. If, say, pests come or they're in a spot where they're getting too much shade or too much sun. By planting them in several different places, there's more chance that at least some of them will survive. However, there's also more chance you will forget you put them there and forget to harvest them. So I need to go back and do that again tomorrow. Yeah, trying to get that all done so that next week, Monday through Wednesday, I can just concentrate on cleaning up the garden some more, not putting all the beds to fall gardening for two reasons. One, because I want to give my daughter, who's going to water for me once or twice while I am away out of town next week for 4 days, I'm going to give her a little bit of a break by putting some of those beds fallow for a while. Later in the winter, I do plan to plant up some of those beds with fruit and nut trees. So yeah, that's the second reason I'm doing it, because I am gradually shifting more and more to perennial veggies and fruit and nut trees. I will always do some annuals, but less and less as time goes by. So yes, next week on Thursday, I am driving to Oregon, going to the Ashland Mystery Writers, Cozy Mystery Festival with writers and readers there. It is going to be so much fun. Yeah, if any of you are readers, and I'm sure many of you are, you'll know how excited I am to be meeting some of my favorite authors as well as new ones, and to just chat with fellow readers who read in the same genre I do and love it as much as I do. Now, I get back on a Sunday night, and Monday morning, I'm driving straight down 3 hours south to the Stockton area, where I'm going to pick up my daughter. My daughter, who lives in Hawaii, is coming for a visit. So she's actually getting to California while I'm in Oregon. So she's going to be visiting with a friend of hers down there. Then I'll pick her up and bring her up here, and we'll get her for 4.5 full days of great fun. It's going to be so good to see her and have her with us. Get lots of hugs. And then I will be driving her at the end of that to see and visit, stay with two of her older sisters in the Bay Area. And then after a few days of many, I'm sure excellent activities there, they'll take her to the airport and she'll fly back to Hawaii. You know, our gardens change, and so do our lives, don't they? Yep, I'm definitely in that season of life where things keep on changing. More and more of my children, as they become independent adults, move on. But I'm so glad they all come home regularly to visit. We all enjoy each other so much. Another thing that's changing are my plans as to what I was going to do after I dropped my daughter off in the Bay Area on my way back over here into the Central Valley, far northern Central Valley. I was planning to stop at my favorite nursery that happens to be located in the Bay Area, but really it's one of my most favorite nurseries anywhere in the country. And yet, I'm not going to be doing that. You know why? Shockingly, 2 days ago, I got an email saying that nursery that's been around forever, that YouTubers travel across the country to go to it and film a video, that people order online and make, annual and semi-annual visits regularly to stock up on plants. That nursery is closed. It closed very suddenly, all in one day, and everybody was really surprised, to say the least, and very disappointed. Yeah, we took it for granted, I guess, like we do with a lot of things in life. However, more change, but positive. I found a new nursery. Yes. If you watched my Why I Plant So Many Trees video, you'll know, because I mentioned it, that I'd stumbled across a YouTube channel, new to me, but not completely new. It has about 200 videos and 7,000 followers. But most importantly of all, it is in Northern California, only 2 hours south of me, same zone, 9B, same type of dry, super intense heat in the summer, same kinds of winters that are generally mild, hardly any rain, but can occasionally go down to 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of that, and because of the first video that the YouTube algorithm showed me from this channel, I have discovered a new nursery. Yes, the video I was first shown from this channel, which by the way is Tropical Central Valley, was a video tour of a nursery in Sacramento. It was all about tropical trees. And this was a new nursery to the gentleman filming the video. He usually shops for his tropical trees down in Southern California. So he was very excited to see the great amount of inventory this nursery has and what types of tropical trees that are not only growing in the 9B dry, hot weather, but are thriving. So yeah, I was excited too, and I'm going to be stopping at that nursery on my way back from the Bay Area. It'll be a little bit out of my way, an hour each way out of my way, but that's okay. I'm thrilled with the idea. And so that video of his showing the tour of that nursery, which is Mimosa Nursery in Sacramento, it led me to his other videos, and I discovered he has a typical suburban house in that area with, the typical small front yard and backyard. But he has, in the last 10 or 12 years, maxed out his space, and he has gorgeous, productive tropical trees everywhere. And so much experience and advice, exactly what I was looking for, and so happy to have found it. So change can definitely be good, despite the disappointing change that sometimes comes along. I will definitely try to take some footage while I'm visiting the Mimosa Nursery so I can share it with all of you. But if you'd like a full tour of that place, you should check out Tropical Central Valley's channel and look for that recent video on the nursery. You won't be disappointed if you're at all interested in growing tropical trees. Now, when I get back from that nursery visit with the Ashland Mystery Festival behind me and the visit with my daughter behind me and the fun trip to the nursery behind me, I can once again focus on my own plantings in my own backyard, my own orchard. I have a lot of apple trees to harvest. I might be taking some of those before these trips, but probably the bulk of them will happen after I get back, and then I have a whole lot of applesauce to make. So tell me in the comments, what are you up to this autumn? Or if you're around the other side of the world, this spring. What changes are happening where you are, and which ones are you enjoying the most? What are your plans for your fall garden, or just your fall in general? I know mine is going to be busy planning out what new trees I'm going to get to be planting this late fall and early winter, and it's exciting. Yeah, gardening is always exciting, and orcharding, well, just as much, if not more so. Super happy that you chose to join me for this garden chat today, or this nature chat. And I hope you'll do so again soon. Happy growing. Just look at that beautiful sunset. One thing's certain, nature really doesn't disappoint.